You've spent a lot of time with kids, inspiring the average person, young person, to want to go. What do you feel about this movie?
When I first saw it out in LA, I had just seen The Passage to Mars with Pascal Lee, and I was freezing. The movie just made me cold. So I had stepped outside going, I hope the next movie isn't about being cold. So I come back in, and then I am delighted to watch this. And for me, I sit there, and I feel it. Maddie does such a beautiful job. Please give these two a big round of applause, because for me, watching Maddie be that canvas, and as an actress admiring another actress, it's like to see her be this canvas and we feel and see. But I think we may still have some Girl Scouts in the audience. They may have snuck out to go to bed. But I think it's like, for me, it's like, I think it brings up all those questions. What will I gain? What will I leave behind? And there's this moment in there where it's like, I really do feel like you think the best life is not planet Earth, but out there, and you will be a different, better person. And so it's just, I think you've done a marvelous job, and I think it's quite great. I'm gonna tell everybody, and I've been telling everybody, I told half the people here going, you gotta stay for the movie. So for me, it's just a powerful narrative about all of those human emotions, about the green. When you're out in that expansive green, it's very visceral. You've done a good job of making me yearn and consider what I'd give up. I'd still go, though. If they want a granny on a planet, I'm ready to go. So.
What is the most surprising reaction you've gotten so far to the concept of the movie?
Ooh, good question. Often we get a reaction about the neighbor, the next door neighbor, and their relationship. And that's one of my favorite character dynamics between the two of them. And people are surprised that Faye was going to give up on that second chance. And then they were surprised that he kind of let her down at the end with his behavior. Yeah, that's always an interesting one.
People are always in two minds about him. And maybe some people have said they feel like maybe she should have stayed and be with him, but I can't think now what.
Yeah, no, I would think that was. We had an interesting comment about Faye and her role as a passive woman as well, which was interesting because representation in film and within the STEM community is something that we're quite passionate about. And although we'd written this quiet woman, we felt that was reflective of how society had placed her and the things that had been piled on top of her. And someone was very opposed to our portrayal of Faye. And that was interesting and a learning experience for us. They wanted Faye to be a stronger woman and I was going to say throw her weight around a bit, but that's not quite what I mean. But take more of an active role in directing her life on Earth. But I suppose our counter-argument to that is she applied to go to Mars. So
what was the process like, literally creating every part of it? I mean, every single part of it you created together. What was that process like?
It was challenging sometimes. Working together is always sort of viewed as compromises are made.
That's code for there were arguments, I think.
on the whole, we're kind of used to it now, aren't we? Like working together, because we obviously wrote the film together, and then I was producing while I was acting, and so I was sort of, able to sort of suggest things to Nick while he was going along. But on the whole, it went really well.
It's great, and because we know each other so well as well, I can't imagine writing particularly alone, because everything has to be a collaboration, and you put an idea out, and then someone responds to that, and even if it's not the response you wanted, or it's not the direction that you were thinking, it might give you a secondary thought, which now takes you to a place that you wouldn't have gone if you were alone. And I think that's what film does brilliantly in the filmmaking process, is collaboration. I really like collaboration.
And just so people are aware, then future films that they're working on are also science-related STEM sort of films. And I wonder if you could share why you're inspired to do those.
I think we've grown doing Seat 25. I mean, we've gone from just having an interest in science and a passion for following scientific topics and those just sparking stories. Being an observer of the scientific process makes you go, oh my God, I want to tell that story visually, to having gone through the process with Seat 25 and had reactions from audiences, and particularly a response from the science community, which has been really heartwarming, has made us actively want to pursue those stories and actively want to communicate. And actively, our next film is centered around two women, a science teacher and a student, and we really want to inspire young people, particularly young people who are at a pivotal stage in their life. I mean, I remember when I was 16, 17, 18, I was really responsive to film at that age, and the messages that I received then and took to heart really shaped the kind of course of my early adulthood. And so so I know how powerful communication through the arts can be, and so I'm really keen that the films we make can help there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right?
I mean, this afternoon, it's like, I don't know if you guys saw it, we had about 43 Girl Scouts come, and to me, it's like, I'm shocked by the thing that they didn't like Faye's, that you got the comment, because to me, it's like, you see Faye rising up. Do you know what I mean? It's like everything is around, everything's disintegrated, and she has the courage to send it, and there's the motivation. But I wish you guys could have been with us. You guys would have had a lot of fun, because the Girl Scouts had brilliant ideas about how Martian habitats should look, and to me it's exciting. And for me, as someone who, like, my bachelor's degree is in the arts, is to communicate and to dance, sing, visualize, whatever medium possible. Let's knock on that door, get them interested, and once they walk through that entry point, then we have people captivated by science.
Yeah.
That's what I think this movie does, because you just lean in, you're like, please go, Faye, come on. Like, I've seen it, and I was still doing that out there, so.
I feel like I knew Faye was going when they threw the dinner party, and she's like, are you going to make the chicken thing? I'm like, that girl's going. She's going to Mars. Like, that is it. Can we wanted to take some questions from the audience, if anyone has any. I can't really see because of lights, but does anybody have any questions they want to ask about the film, or any? Do we have any out there? No? Okay.
Oh.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, they're coming all over.
Well, we're deliberately trying to make it similar to Amelie. Well, it was certainly, yeah, I mean, it was certainly one of the influences. One of the things that we wanted to do was, there's some of the other feedback that we've had is the film science fiction or not? And it's a difficult one for us, because you have to put a label on a film somewhere along the line. I mean, we see it as a drama that is about a topic that relates to science. So, but if you place it within a science fiction genre, we wanted to do something that was different and an unusual take on the subject. So we wanted something that was bright and colorful, slightly whimsical, whilst it dealt with, what could be quite a dour subject, which is saying goodbye to your loved ones. And we wanted the visual look of the film to emphasize the fact that it's not an easy decision. You know, there's so much. Lots of the things that we love to hear is astronauts who have come back and said they'll never complain about the weather again, or they'll never get tired of the blue sky or the color of the trees in the fall, and that kind of thing. And so we wanted to add that to the movie so that visually you could see what Faye was leaving behind. And Amelie, certainly the colors that they used in Amelie and the fluidity of the shots were certainly an influence.
think I saw. Oh, here?
So during the countdown, pretty much the only words you can hear are SCE to Ox. Is that a joke or?
No, it wasn't. We wanted to, I mean, at that sequence, we wanted to show as much of a launch sequence as we could whilst holding the audience's attention. So no, it wasn't, but it was, it was fun to shoot that one, and it's one of the slightly less visually realistic moments of the film, but we felt it was important to have it in there.
Well, okay. So I know it's kind of a late evening, so I was gonna like let us go, but let's give it up one more time for Nicholas. I mean, it's just.
Hey, Carrie.
Yes. Oh.
I would want to, can we ask, you guys are still here and you've hung in. What did you guys think about the movie, my young Girl Scouts there? Did you like it?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So were you rooting for Faye to go? Yes, all right.
Good.
And never come back.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and
Thank you for having us.
Bravo.